Alright, so this is going to be the first video on my new YouTube channel, and I just want this video to be an overview of my beliefs and the way I think, my principles. Alright, so basically, I am a paleo-libertarian, and I describe myself sort of as a moderate conservative. What that means is that I believe in individual liberty, and I also subscribe to a more conservative social philosophy, but I don't believe that it should be enforced by the state. So I don't think that gay marriage should be illegal and stuff. Yeah, I'm personally a traditionalist, and I think that society would be best if it did return and adhere to traditional morals, traditional beliefs. But like I said, I don't believe that that should be enforced by the state. I don't believe in using government force to prove that you're right. Um, so, with that being said, personally, I oppose things like gay marriage and drug use, but if you want to do those things, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I don't think the government should stop you. In fact, I don't even think the government should care if you're doing those things. I don't believe that the government should be involved in marriage at all. I completely oppose the drug war. I believe that if you are an adult, you must take responsibility for your own actions. If you want to take drugs, you should know the consequences of those actions, how they affect your health, and you should make your decisions on whether or not you want to do certain things based on those consequences and whether or not you feel they are worth the consequences. So, I also believe in free market capitalism, laissez-faire. I believe that businesses are best if they are not interfered with by the state as much as possible. I believe that the free market allocates and uses resources most efficiently. I believe government is very inefficient, and I think that people should be able to live their lives with minimal government interference. I also believe that taxation is essentially theft. I mean, the government is pretty much just stealing your paycheck, a portion of your paycheck, to pay for inefficient and pretty much poor quality programs. So I think that ideally it would be best if government could be funded voluntarily. So, either you donate money to the government to provide for something you believe in, or the government provides a service. So, basically, like fundraising, the government provides a service at a price, and the money that they make off that service goes towards some sort of program, roads, some sort of welfare, social security, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm ideally a stateless capitalist society would, I think, be the best, but that's not practical. So I also believe that immigration should be strict until the welfare state is dealt with. I don't believe we should open up our borders until we stop allowing people to be so reliant on the government for assistance, because all that does is give the government power. It doesn't help out the poor, it doesn't help them get on their feet. People rely on the government, and the government gets their support in return, and it just creates this paradigm of big government and people turning to the government for help. So yeah, I don't believe in really turning to the government for assistance because what they assist you with is stolen through taxation. And not only that, like I said before, it's inefficient and it's poor quality. Like, take public transportation, for example. Like, yeah, it's convenient for those who can't really afford their own transportation, but it's not the best. Like, I was watching the local news yesterday, and they're saying that people are complaining about it taking too long because people getting off and on at too many stops. You know, the buses were dirty, stuff like that. If that stuff like that were provided through the free market, then stuff like that would be taken care of because people wouldn't want to ride on slow, dirty buses. So they'd take their money to someone who, has quicker service, has cleaner facilities, cleaner buses. So yeah, I think that the free market, same thing with healthcare. Government healthcare is inefficient. It's expensive. Um, there's a lot of problems with it, especially with like Obamacare, and so I think that a lot of government programs are either unnecessary or they can be replaced by market alternatives. Now, those that can't be privatized, those should remain. I think the government should only do what is necessary. I think the role of government should be to protect its citizens the best it can, to, enforce contracts between individuals, to protect their rights, stuff like that. But like I said, government is inefficient. So, like with defense, you'd most likely have to rely on yourself for defense. So, I'm very much opposed to gun control. Um, I believe that you have the right to defend yourself, defend your property, defend your family, and even defend your homeland if it comes down to it. That's why the United States has never been invaded by a foreign country, because of our high rates of gun ownership and our willingness to defend our country, our patriotism. We wouldn't let just some foreign nation take us over without a fight. So I strongly believe in gun rights and gun ownership. Also, with the upcoming election, it's 2016, you know, pretty big deal. I'm not a fan of really any of the candidates. There's not a single candidate I can 100% stand behind, because you have Donald Trump, who I think has a lot of dangerous policies, like wanting to bring back waterboarding. Like, the immigration isn't so bad, but banning Muslims from the country, that's a violation of the First Amendment. He's flip flopped on issues in the past. He supported the Clintons. He supported gun control. He's not very libertarian. In fact, he's the opposite. He's an authoritarian. He believes in strong government and strong authority. And Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, she's a liar. She should be a criminal. The FBI just not decided not to charge her for the email scandal. She's responsible for the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi. She's corrupt, you know. And Bernie Sanders, who recently endorsed her, sold out because he had this whole campaign of being against the establishment and opposing Hillary Clinton, saying she was unfit for president, and then a month later endorsing her. So he just turned out to be another politician. And then the libertarian candidate, the one who is doing better than any other libertarian has in the past, he has quite a few flaws too. Like, he doesn't support certain business rights. He's said good things about Hillary Clinton. He said that she's a wonderful public servant, which I very much disagree with. He's called Donald Trump racist, which I don't believe Donald Trump is racist. I just don't agree with his policies. I just don't think he's racist. Um, even Gary Johnson isn't very good. He's more of a bleeding heart libertarian, so like kind of like a social justice warrior libertarian mix, which I don't really like. And one person really did like was Rand Paul, but he was far from being the nominee, unfortunately. And I really liked his father, Ron Paul, when he ran. I think he was really able to unite the Libertarian Party, and he really did. He really inspired me to become a libertarian. I was rather conservative before I started learning about Ron Paul and the libertarian philosophy. So yeah, he's very big libertarian figure. So I really like him. So yeah, Gary Johnson is decent. Rand Paul is good, and I think Ron Paul is really good. So yeah, that's just my take on the 2016 election. Um, but the thing with Gary Johnson that is so important for the Libertarian Party is that if he gets 15%, he gets to participate in the debate and receive the same funding as the two main party candidates. So that could really hurt the two-party system, if not get rid of it altogether. So I think that's a good thing about him. And he's there. From what I heard, the latest poll put him at 13%, where he requires 15% to really help out the party. And my thoughts on the Libertarian Party is that they can be good, but the way it has been in this election isn't very good. I'm not a fan of really parties in general, but if I had to choose one, I'd pick the Libertarian Party over anything else. I liked John McAfee and Austin Peterson when they were running, but my problem with Austin Peterson is that he was a bit immature, and he just really quoted like the founding fathers and other libertarians, and he didn't seem very realistic. Like, I've heard him being described as talking in bumper stickers, which he essentially does. And McAfee, I really liked him. I really liked what he had to say in like the libertarian debate that they actually televised. I liked what he had to say, but my problem with him was his whole track record of being like an international criminal and being accused of like killing his neighbor and stuff. So yeah, I can't really support him. And then Gary Johnson with his some of his policies of being more social justice warrior type, bleeding heart libertarian. Don't really like that either. So there's not really a single candidate that I could really stand behind. There never was, except for Rand Paul, who's no longer even in the race. But I think, unfortunately, Hillary Clinton's going to become president. I mean, it'd be unfortunate if Donald Trump became president. Pretty much any outcome at this point is unfortunate, except for Gary Johnson getting 15%. I don't really think anyone believes he's going to become president. I don't really think he has a chance, but that's not what this election is about for the Libertarian Party. It's about getting to 15% and really hurting or dismantling the two-party system. So, yeah, that's just a brief overview of my beliefs, my opinions, what I think, the way I think, whatever. So, yeah, thanks for watching.